Testing, 1, 2.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Hi guys.
How you guys doing out there?
Welcome to this week's video. I'm Laura.
I'm Carlos.
And this is our journey on Pico Island. And we wanted to thank you guys for joining us. Last week we did a video with our family and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, we decided it's good to do those kinds of videos as well once in a while. You get to engage with us, and it was nice to have my mom also say a few words in Portuguese to her family and friends. So thank you.
Sorry we didn't have subtitles for that, guys.
Yeah, we're still working on that. So, but speaking of family, I just wanted to say hello to my uncle Tony, my aunt Isabel, my uncle's daughter, my cousin Anna, her little one, Tony Jr., and Rafael. They're staying at the house right now in Lage on Pico. They're in their summer holidays. They're doing from what we hear, they're having a great time.
Yeah, we're so jealous. Wish we could be there with you guys.
Yeah, we are jealous actually. And so anyways, a lot to you, tudo bom, força.
On this week's video, we're going to do a Q&A.
I think doing a Q&A once in a while is the best way to go to try and just quickly answer some questions, put it out there. If you are watching this for the first time, I think it'll be a good entry point to just to get our take on what's happening on Pico and the Azores. The Azores, 9 islands in the middle of the North Atlantic, basically 5-hour flight from Toronto, about 4.5 from, let's say, Boston or New York. It's the 7th region of Portugal. You're about 2 hours flight from Lisbon, for example. The Azores is the very top of a huge mountain range called the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. If you love nature, Azores is perfect. It's a combination of, I would say, New Zealand, Hawaii, and Iceland.
I think we should try and name the 9 islands.
Yes, go ahead.
I would
give it a shot.
Okay. San Miguel, Pico, Faial, Terceira, Corvo, Santa Maria, Graciosa.
You said Pico yet?
I said Pico.
Did you? Okay. Flourish?
Oh, Flourish. And
Terceira? Have you said Terceira?
Yeah, Corvo.
You said that already.
Did I say Corvo?
I think you got them all.
Did I get them all?
Yes.
I don't know.
So,
let us know if we're missing one.
Someone actually asked, what fun can you have in the Azores?
All year round, they asked.
All year round.
All year round.
That's right.
And you can go hiking. Great place to hike. Weather is beautiful all year round. You can go horseback riding. You can go whale watching, although whale watching, they tend to stop doing that in November. Yeah, around November, and then they start back up in April, May.
I think San Miguel might do it longer. You'd have to check. I think they do it a bit longer, as long as the weather is good.
Yeah, and actually, what we did for my birthday this year is we went on ATVs, and that was so much fun. And what else can you do? You can go wine tasting.
Harvest. Help the harvest.
Help pick
Squish the grapes. Squish the grapes.
We did that.
Yeah. kayaking, sailing, diving, fishing,
swimming. Actually, a lot of people swim there all year round.
It's an amazing place. I mean, if you love nature, there's so much you can do on there. Island hop over to Fayal, St. George. Now you can even go to Graciosa quickly on the ferry in the high seas, mostly, into Graciosa, all year round to Fayal and St. George. It's endless.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. So, and then you have the festivals. Right now, I guess let's just say between June and September, major festivals. I'll give you three. Festa de Maria Madalena, Bom Jesus, and Cai de Agosto, and Lourdes, the Whalers Feast. So there's four big ones, all in the top villages of the island. They bring in bands from, some of them are from Portugal, some are from outside of Portugal. It's just crazy. I mean,
a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they go on like for a whole week. Each festival will go for a whole week. But other small festivals, so I would say every weekend there's something going on in the high season. Okay, and there are also a few smaller religious festivals off season, like in the winter. So and then those are a lot of fun.
And then on top of that, getting together with friends and family and barbecues and
Adega is the wine house. Is where they make the wine. A lot of people have adegas, So, for example, in São Mateus, we have a family adega. My uncle has it. Used to be my grandfather's. So, and other people have similar ones. And you go down. They do a barbecue, bring out the wine, and sometimes they'll invite tourists that are walking around to come and join you. Music will be played. Sometimes you're there till 3 a.m. And this is how I remember growing up, and it still happens on these islands. So a lot of fun.
You guys that are living there, let us know what you do for fun all year round.
Oh, don't forget, a lot of the expats, we mentioned a lot of the expats, people we've met now that are living there, there's always parties with them. So a lot of times we get invited, and there's always people you're meeting, new people, some people you already know. So really, there's a lot of fun to be had in the Azores.
It's very safe. You can walk around at night, anytime. I've never felt safer anywhere else as much as I do, especially on Pico.
And obviously the Azores has 9 islands. There's a few cities, the biggest city, Ponta Delgada and San Miguel. So where there's more population, obviously, you still have to be careful. I mean, like anywhere in the world. But overall, it's rare that we hear any major crime happening. I don't remember the last time that we've heard from anywhere on the islands. Safest I feel is when you're in the village, you go by the water, and everyone kind of knows each other, the village mindset, and that really makes you feel safe. And I think I've always had that since I was born there, and I always remember that through the years, and it still exists. Another reason why you feel safe is just because it's an island, right? Or islands. You're surrounded by water, nothing else around there, so the isolation of it creates that safety. It's like an added security blanket, right? No, you can't just drive anywhere coming in. You're in the middle of the North Atlantic. That's it.
Yeah, the only way you can get on there is by plane or by boat.
Or by boat. So I think that alone, and it's not like other islands. I mean, a lot of islands they're all surrounded by water, but some of them are close to mainlands, right? The Azores is pretty remote. I mean, it's easily accessible, but because it's the remoteness of it, surrounded by the big body of water and away from land, added security.
Do people speak English? Yes, they do. It's mandatory they take English starting in grade 3.
Grade 3, that
yes,
early? Wow.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of a problem for me because I'm supposed to be learning Portuguese, and
you should know Portuguese.
And a lot of people they speak English.
Yeah, it makes it harder. It's because everyone speaks English. It's true. People that have lived in the immigrants, they come back. It's English. They're speaking. So, but there's English classes like the expats. They set up English classes that they could go take and
not English classes.
I mean Portuguese classes.
Portuguese
classes.
So
this is different. Okay, so it's like a reverse. But I do think that to learn you're not going to have a problem. Pretty much anywhere we go, restaurants or even government offices and so forth.
Most people speak English. So one of the questions that we get asked a lot is, which island is the best island to live on?
That's a very powerful question.
Yes. And obviously we live on Pico. But if you are, it really depends on the person. If you're looking for more nightlife, more restaurants, a little bit busier, then San Miguel would be
that's the top
a good
one.
Yeah.
And Terceira, I guess the top two would be them. They have those two islands have the highest population, right? San Miguel has half of the Azores. That was 250,000 live in the Azores. San Miguel has 125,000, so it's a bigger island. There's a city there, Ponta Delgada. I mean, there's a lot more. So if you need to be close to, I got to go out. I got to be, I want to go lots of shopping. I need to go to a nightclub. I want to go to McDonald's. I even think they have McDonald's. Whatever
they have
you
McDonald's,
want.
but although Pico now has Burger King.
Yeah. So, but that's it. If you want more of the bigger, more people around, that's where you would go. I mean, I think that's a must in your list, right? All the other islands are a little bit more laid back. Okay, Pico is the second largest, but only has 15,000 people. So it's most of them have a lot of land, a lot of free space, low population. So if that's what you'll gravitate to more one of those islands.
But you don't feel isolated on the island.
You don't.
No. There's still lots to do there, and
it's like there's three groups: east, west, right? So west has two islands, Flores and Corvo. East has San Miguel, St. Michael, and Santa Maria. Then you have the central group. You have 5 islands, right? Terceira, St. George, Fayal, Pico, Graciosa. Now within those 5, you're right in the center group. So even if you were to live on Pico or St. George and any of those, Fayal, it's easy to hop over to Terceira, which is a little bit more. So, they have about 50,000 people, if I'm not mistaken. So. I think that's the best. It really, you got to visit different islands, get a feel for the island, take your time, and then you'll see which island you fall in love with. Basically, we obviously, I'm from Pico, so I pulled her there because I'm from there, and she fell in love with Pico.
But I fell in love with Pico.
Yeah, I was lucky, but I can live in any. I know I've seen a lot of those islands, and I can live easily on one of the other ones too, because it's the nature that connects them all. Portugal in general is one of the countries with a lot of interest from expats, and they're living there from all over the world. Now they're filtering over to the islands like the Azores and Madeira as well, and we've seen that, right? Yes. Being on Pico and in Fayal, we've seen the last year. We've met some of them. Some of them came through the channel, and now they're living there, and it's a lot of interest. And
the last time we were there, we met a lot of expats.
Yeah, and we're going to meet more. There's more people have interest. They're coming to check different islands, including Pico and Fayal, St. George, and all of them. I would say the demographics of the ones that we've met, they're 50 plus, 50, 60 in that range. Some of them are semi-retired, some are totally retired now, kind of integrated into they're locals now, and they're living there all year round, still with some connection to where they came from. A lot of Americans, a lot of Europeans coming in,
and British as well.
Yeah, and we obviously got lots of immigrants like myself and people that went to Canada, the U.S., and other Europeans that visit their families back. And over the years, we've never stopped visiting, and more are coming.
It's actually a wonderful quality of life. You're surrounded by nature. The pace is a little bit slower, not really slow, because people work very hard there.
But it's as slow as you want to make it. If
yes.
you want to not move at all for the whole day, 24 hours of just staying in one spot, it's up to you. I mean, most people are there. They're not there to work. I mean, they're there to, if you're an expat, you're retired, you're there to just live. That's a high quality of life.
You can find a lot of things to do there. So you can keep yourself very busy, or like Carlos said, you can just do nothing. One of the great things that I love about, especially Pico, is the peace. It is so peaceful. You don't get the traffic that you get here. We're in Canada right now. The noise. It's amazing, the difference.
Island life, right? You're on an island, again, surrounded by water. You can never get away from it. You're constantly, it's right, always there. And if you want to go in the water, you just look at it. You know how people it's a natural connection with people that travel to other destinations that have nature. This is what they want. And there, I think one thing that is very high in quality for me, that adds quality, is the fact that you have both the ocean and the country intertwined. You can never get away from neither. And a lot of destinations you can't have both. You're either I'm gonna move to the country, to the hills, to the mountains, united by the ocean, or vice versa. There you have both, and I think for me, and I think for Laura, and for a lot of people that we are connected to, it's that's one of the highs, really, to have both. At any point, you can just drive up. You're in the highlands, you're in the lakes. It's incredible. I think, and every time we do that, we feel that the quality of life, the wellness of it all, is always there.
Yes.
You know, but the peace, tranquility of doing nothing if you don't want to, and just moving slower, the island pace. I think all this is healthy, so it does add to quality of life and puts the Azores again with a very high quality of life. Cost of living. How expensive are things, are cheap compared to other places. So
yeah, and it is quite a difference, again, comparing it to Canada. For example, buying a bottle of wine, you can buy wine for €3 compared to, $15 here. Going out for lunch or dinner, it's a lot less. Again, because the alcohol isn't as expensive. Utilities, electricity, water, that's a lot less. Insurance, even like property taxes and things like that, a lot less than Canada.
Yes. Add a few examples of our expenses, our utilities.
So our utilities for our electricity, our water, our internet, combined, it's about €100 a month.
About that, about €100. A car insurance, about €150 a year.
And property tax is about $300 a year
for us. But I mean, it depends on the size of house,
yes.
right? So I think I know someone that's paying about $250, some pay $500, but that's for the year.
Definitely easy to get around. There's local transportation, the bus. You can take the local bus. You have taxis.
People offer you rides sometimes to take you.
Yeah, and also you can take the ferry from island to island.
Yeah, so it's set up fairly, especially in let's say in the higher season, there's a lot more ferry service. But if you're in the triangle, St. George, Fayal, and Pico, at least 4 a day, all year round, and they'll add 2 or 3 for the high season. Flights constantly between, obviously the main entry point of the Azores is the Big Island, San Miguel, and Terceira. I guess they're the top 2, and then you have Fayal and Pico. Well connected with Europe, like US, Canada, they come into San Miguel or Terceira. A lot of European flights could come into those as well, but some now are coming directly into Pico and Fayal, especially from Lisbon. So it's well connected.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are asking about even just getting around the island itself.
Too,
and,
yes.
If you didn't want to rent a car, you can take the local bus, like I said. And we actually have a video on that we'll link that as well. We did a little bus ride.
Yeah, so you can, honestly, and sometimes you're in an island that's smaller. There's one island, Corvo. It's very small. Everybody lives in one spot, and when you land at the airport, you actually walk, or they take you it's right there where the village is. But and I don't even think they have rented cars there, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have to visit because that's one area we'd like to go. Flores and Corvo, maybe next year.
Very easy to get around the islands.
Definitely direct flights. They fly mostly into the island of San Miguel. I would say 80% of the flights come direct into there, like from Toronto, from Boston, from New York. Sometimes they have flights from Sacramento, but some of them also go to Terceira. Okay, especially in the high season, they'll be going into both islands, but the bulk will be San Miguel. From the mainland, you're connected definitely through Lisbon and Porto into direct into Ponta del San Miguel, or into Terceira, into Fayal, and into Pico. I think those are the top 4 where they're connected in from the mainland. And then into from Europe, England, for example, they fly directly into San Miguel, I think Terceira, places, I think Italy has some flights coming in from Spain. And it keeps growing, right? So it's an easy connection point to come in. Now they're even filtering over to Bermuda. There's direct flights between Bermuda and San Miguel, the Big Island, the Azores, and from Madeira, the other Portuguese region, the islands, and from Canary Islands.
More and more, it's easily accessible. What is the healthcare like in the Azores? Well, the two main hospitals are in San Miguel and Terceira, and the other hospital is in Fayal.
Yeah, so there's three hospitals in all of the 9 islands. The rest is health centers, and the health centers are pretty much located throughout. Could be all the islands will have them. Sometimes they have more than one, depending on the towns. But I gotta say, there's room for improvement. Okay, I think it needs to step up more now. I think they're working on a lot of different things.
We definitely need a hospital on Pico.
Yeah, or make the Fayal bigger hospital. Obviously, there's politics that come into play, and we're not experts in that field. But we want the best healthcare possible, no matter where you are in Canada and there, and even in Canada, things could be better.
Healthcare's not doing so well.
So that's what happens. So I mean, hopefully it keeps getting better. I gotta also say that in case of it, because we had some questions, in case of an emergency, depending on the situation, if you are on an island that does not have the bigger hospital, they're quick to react to get you into where you need to go. If it means getting you over to, depending which island you're on, you wind up in San Miguel or Terceira. If it's not good enough, they'll fly you into Lisbon. The Air Force is involved.
Because even to get on to the hospital in Fayal, they'll take you on the ferry or they'll fly you in.
Yeah, so I mean, they act quickly on this, but at the end of the day, these are islands, and I think it needs to be more balanced with to have more the higher quality of more hospitals and bigger hospitals with more doctors, and if you have that, then the overall healthcare will just be better.
When expats actually move there, they do get the health care that's provided to the citizens as well.
Yeah, it depends on what visa or residency they got. So there's a lot more. So they're taken care of, but you still, I think, private gives you.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit more
flexibility. You have access to outside of Portugal, depending what sickness you have. And I know a lot of the banks have their really good coverage. Ours is called Safe Care through Santander, and
we did a video on that too.
Yeah, we did a video on that too. I think we've done a video on quite a few things.
We're
repeating some of the videos, but some things that need to get updated, right? So, but definitely expats should have private health care, in our opinion.
So another question was, are there any insects or animals that can kill you in the Azores? No, unless you're in the water. So in the water, they do have Portuguese man-o'-wars, which are jellyfish, which can be a little bit dangerous. And obviously sharks, but it's very rare that you'll see sharks close to the shore. But as well, on land, there really isn't. There is nothing that can kill you.
Well, what if a goat kicks you in the head?
Well, that's a different story. Now,
I got kicked by a goat when I was a kid. That's pretty tough.
Yeah, actually, the other night we were sitting outside and a skunk came by. And those of you that don't know what a skunk is,
they stink.
They're very stinky, and Zena almost went head to head with one. And it was great. It was good that Carlos has quick reflexes.
Yeah, but she gave me a nice little bite.
Yeah, she gave him a nice little bite. But there's a lot more that can
But
hurt
the skunks
you here.
can't kill you. They can't kill you.
No, skunks. No, they cannot kill you.
Yeah.
No.
So,
but as far as that question, no, there is nothing on the islands that can kill you.
I mean, you see some spiders. Some of them are beautiful, actually, and that probably give you a little sting. You might get a little infected.
Yeah,
but we haven't heard of stories of like
there's
scorpions.
no poisonous snakes or anything like that.
No lions or tigers that can come out.
Or bears. Oh my.
Yeah.
Do you suppose we'll meet any wild animals?
We might. Animals that eat straw? Some, but mostly lions and tigers and bears.
Lions?
And tigers? And bears.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my!
Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh my!
So, no, you don't have to worry about those kinds of things, Just, everything's kind of...
But you do have to be careful when you are going swimming. Just double check that there's no Portuguese man-o'-wars. But usually it's a certain time of the year that you see a lot more of them. What is the labor force like in the Azores?
This is an area where we've been really on hands learning a lot about. A lot more to learn because we're doing the renovations.
Yeah, we're doing a renovation on our house that we purchased
over a year ago.
Over a year ago.
Yeah, so we're definitely learning a lot. I think that's the good thing, a positive thing, when things are really slow and you're kind of learning how to deal with everything. But yeah, there's a shortage. There's also a shortage of probably quality. It's like anywhere, there's good and bad. So I think this is an area where there's definitely room for a lot of improvement. Might have to be outside workforce coming in. It already comes in from other islands and so forth.
Yeah, because it's not just construction that they have a shortage of labor. It's the
overall.
Restaurants. It's overall.
Well, when the tourism high season, they struggle getting people to work it. The average wages there, I think, between 8 to 10 euros is the starting point per hour. Obviously, you can pay more. Sometimes it just depends what kind of work you're doing and the worker itself. Is it a company? Are these individuals? So there's a bit of a average in there.
Yeah. So, like for example, we have a cleaning lady that comes in and she'll clean for about 4 hours, and we pay her 28 euros.
Yeah, 28 euros. And with construction, which is, I think when people say it's like, that's one area that really needs to improve, like we've mentioned. And you could also get them to budget something, so they'll come in and they'll just give you one price. Okay, to do this, it'll be this price. It'll take this long, and that's where it gets a little iffy sometimes, where they say it takes this long, and they start doing other jobs, right? So then it takes longer, and this is where it gets. So you really have to find and it won't be easy, but once you find that worker that's, I guess, upfront and honest, you have to hang on to this guy, pay him a little bit more. I think would be, because it's still the labor part of it is still quite affordable compared to the rest of Europe or North America. It's just you don't want them making this, it should be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You pay them hourly, and next thing you know, it's 3 months. So it's something you have to learn, and we're learning, and we're still learning. And I think when our renovation is all done,
we'll do a full video on start to finish.
Yeah, and you can bet that we're going to learn a lot, and the second time around we're going to do some things a lot different.
In the Azores, they have 3 seasons. You have summer, spring, and fall, but you can have 3 seasons in one day.
Yeah, I guess what we're trying to say, there are 4 seasons. It's just the 4th season, like we have here in the winter, is non-existent. Most of the time we feel in the winter there, it's more like the fall. It's like an extension of fall. Sometimes, you have your 17, 18 degrees, 16, sunny and very nice. You have a shirt on. So it feels more, it's just that we're used to the Canada winter, or even if you're in the United States, you get this cold, minus 30. It's not like that. Once in a while we get a bit of snow on top of Pico Mountain because it's high. It's about 8,000 feet above sea level, so you would have some snow up there. But that's why we don't really call it winter, like as we know it. And Laura's right, 3 seasons in the day. We have experienced that, especially in more, I would say between January, February, and March. I think that's where it could be like sunny, rain, a lot of wind, back to sun again, right? So, yeah, but overall, it's a subtropical weather system, if I'm not mistaken. Temperatures, for example, in the summer, they can reach as high as 29, okay? In the winter, I think the average there is 16, 17 in the winter, January, February, March.
Yeah, so even in the winter, you kind of want to dress in layers because when the sun comes out, it can get pretty hot. So I know that when we were there, constantly putting on a sweater, taking off a sweater.
Yeah, one day, like we're saying, one day you could be kind of, that's really like a fall day, log on the fire, and then another day you're like, because humidity does come into play, especially in lower parts of the island, like in Lage, in the village we have our base where we stay. It gets probably the most humidity area of the whole island, right? So
yeah, and you'll get those days where it rains quite hard. I love the rain.
Yeah, and cloudy, and you get all the storms coming through.
Which I also love.
Yeah, you do get storms coming through. The hurricanes usually stay more lower Atlantic. but
But
sometimes
they
they do
did
come
get
up.
hit by one.
Yeah, they do
hurricane.
come up more and more, the climate change and all that.
Yeah.
Cyclones more in the winter. It's to do with the sea and the wind, and you get this water. I mean, it's it's pretty powerful, some of these storms.
Yeah, so we went out in one.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
yeah, it comes in. Sometimes you know it's coming, but then until it gets there, you can really feel it. I mean, there's the Gulf Stream. That's we know the Azore. I think there's another nickname, the Azorean High or system. But anyways, it warms up the water. It starts in May through the summer. The water will eventually get to about 24.
Yeah, it took a little bit longer this year to warm up.
Yeah, but it might stay longer. The warmth, and it's about 24. I think will be like the higher 24, 25.
That's why we like going in the off season.
Yeah.
Too, because if you go in September, October, November, the
swim.
water's warm. The weather is really, really nice.
Yeah,
and
not crowded.
It's not crowded with tourists, and
yeah. Sometimes we're alone. No one's around, and yeah, I mean, you need to be prepared for all weather basically there.
Yes.
Except the minus 30, minus 20s that we get here. If that happens there, we're all in trouble.
Yeah, I could do without that.
Well, the high season, let's put it between, let's say, June 15, June 20 to about the first week in September. That's what we would consider the high season, the summer season. And that's where most of the tourists will come in. It gets quite hectic.
Yeah, and it's not just tourists, too. It's a lot of Portuguese families, immigrants coming
back to visit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're always, the restaurants are going to be very busy, and you're going to have to, renting a car is going to be very hard. Sometimes you can't rent cars. So it's just because sometimes most of these islands are smaller. They only have so much. But it's all around. It's on all islands. It's just a lot more people coming in. They're coming from more areas now to visit. It's quite trendy now to come to the Azores. A lot of people are more discovering it. So if you don't want the hustle and bustle, you got to stay away from the summer. Okay, from the high season, and come pretty much any other time. Shoulder season, I think the next, a lot of people are really coming in April and May, September, latter part of September, October, November, even December. And then there's been people staying January, February, and March in the long stays. I've booked some that are staying there for 1, 2, 3 months. And this is happening on all the islands. So, I mean, it depends. It's what's best suited for you. But if you don't want to be in the middle of lots of tourists or more tourists coming, it's not mass tourism. It's not like you're going to these Mexico and Cuba and there's thousands and thousands of people coming. There's resorts, like, and it's not really like that. So, and most of the islands have smaller lodgings. Okay, I think San Miguel and Terceira have the biggest, more hotels and that sort of thing. But,
and they get a lot more cruise ships going into San Miguel. Although we have been seeing smaller cruise ships come in to Pico.
Yeah, it's more the nature ships. You'd have like 100 passengers instead of 2,000. That kind of thing. There's some that do a circuit, and they kind of come into Pico, and people get out, and they're all.
But again, it's not masses of people coming in.
It's
to
not,
the
but it gets hectic. I mean, as far as if you're, when we're there in November. You get some tourists and some more and then all of a sudden boom, you can see the, people speaking Italian and people speaking Spanish and all over, where they're coming from. So it's great for the economy, and they're having a lot of fun, and we're happy for all that. But there are some people that prefer to avoid that. Don't be afraid coming in the off season. I guess that's the end word here. Do not be afraid of that. If any one of you needs more information about visiting the Azores, we do have a website, picoholidayexperts.com. It's a lot on Pico, but we talk about the other islands as well. So send me a message through there, and I'll try to answer any question you might have, okay?
We were asked a question about, can you order from Amazon in the Azores? And you absolutely can. It can come from the States. It'll come from Europe. A lot of the shipments come through Lisbon, so it's very easy to order.
Everybody's online. You got IKEA.
Yeah.
There's 3 IKEAs. There's just around Lisbon, for example. Other boutique kind of style,
like clothing,
like
Zara. You
home
can order
decor.
from.
Yeah, so don't worry about that. And
Yeah.
the one we use Amazon, and ours came from the U.S., right?
Yes, it came
couple
from
weeks.
the U.S. and it was just a couple. I don't think it was even a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I think it was less
It was
time than
less.
that.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, but I mean, there's ships coming in from a lot of them comes, they'll get to the mainland, and then from Lisbon it comes over to the Azores with the product. So I think overall it's a pretty good system.
The Wi-Fi is very good. Sometimes you'll, get a little bit of a blackout, but honestly, it's a very, very good connection.
Yeah, 4G, 5G. I mean, the technology is A1.
We do a lot of work online with our videos and YouTube, and we've never had a problem. One of the great things about the Azores is you can grow pretty much anything all year round. You can have chickens and goats and cows, and definitely a great place for sustainability.
I mean, you can grow pretty much anything, like Laura said. I mean, the fertile volcanic soil is just so healthy. It's high quality. So yeah, you can grow mangoes, papayas, figs, all types of fruit trees, vegetables,
And a lot of people are going solar. It's using solar panels for electricity.
Yes.
Natural sources.
Natural sources. Permaculture is a growing trend. People are coming already with that idea. I'm going to grab a cute little house, some good land around it, and I am going to grow my own food to eat. Sometimes they'll sell it, but they're growing whatever they want. I mean, there's not too many things you cannot grow there. Even coffee there's it's not the best area as you would know it, in other places that grow
like
coffee.
Costa Rica.
Yeah, Costa Rica and Hawaii, and so many places you can grow coffee. It's to do with the equator, but they do have a coffee. In St. George's, there's someone there growing some coffee, and I think they're Sarah, and they're going to try and actually make a business out of it from what I've heard. So it's doable. So, and for example, the vine. I mean, it's in lava rock, lava
The
rock.
grapevines.
The grapevines, it comes out of lava, not really soil like we would have here in our vineyards in Canada or the US. And they have the lava walls to keep the heat in and to protect. Portugal in general is in the forefront of being self-sustained. They won an award. It's a quality award, and it's one of the top 3. I think he came to 1 out of 3 in the world to get this award. It's not easy to get, and the Azores got it.
There's lots of opportunities for tourism, for construction, agriculture, restaurants, technology, and the list goes on and on.
So basically, when I say there's room for improvement, well, it's all that equals opportunity. So, and I think there's only so many people that live there, or so many people that want to do certain jobs. It's going to have to come from the outside. So there are people from the outside, expats, with good business ideas, and making it work through the islands. And chefs, cooks, people open up restaurants, lodgings, and technology ideas. And I mean, it's
never ending.
Yeah, and it's a growing area, and people work remotely out of there. Obviously, some people that already have their own business and they're there easily working remotely. But if you wanted to start something from scratch, I think you'd be successful. Definitely. The trend is upward. The bigger island, where like San Miguel was already a lot of influx of expats, and now they're filtering over to the other islands like Pico and Fayal and St. George, more the central group. And people are interested. The more people visit, the more people love the place. Could be this island or that island, and they're going to want to buy.
One thing that I really like to see is that people or expats are buying some of these older houses that are ruins, and they're beautifying them.
Yeah, beautifying them.
They're reviving them. And I think, it's like anywhere. I mean, you can't control. If people have interest, more people want to buy certain things, the prices are going to go up. People have money come from the outside. I mean, the money is not, the money is going to be filtered around the economy. I know some people
don't want the prices to go high. We don't either. You know, if we want to buy another property, we want it to buy it lower than higher. But we believe it's still affordable. We also believe there's always going to be affordability, but it will depend on the type of home you're looking for, on which island.
The prices go from 50,000 euros for a rustic or a ruin.
More like a ruin.
For a ruin, right up to 500,000.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think it's safe to say if you wanted a turnkey, I still see good properties. We're more in Fayal and Pico, more familiar with that. Like, let's say between 150 and 170.
250.
And you'll get something like 105, 120,000 euros. Then it needs a little fixing up. You put your signature on it, but wouldn't need a lot, right? You could also build from scratch.
It hasn't been easy since going through COVID, and we were actually in Portugal for a year. But doing our YouTube channel, we do make income from that. We make some income from commissions from bookings in the Azores. And we also, when we come back to Canada, I do pet sitting.
Yeah.
And
You love it though.
I love it. Yeah, I've been doing that for about 5 years now. So whenever I come back, I look after my clients' pets when they go on vacation.
Yeah, so basically the last couple of years, we've been planning to do this move, and we decided to do it. And we just, it's basically planning and positioning and then figuring things out on both sides of the pond. So it takes a lot of, you know, it's not, some things are a lot harder than we thought, and some things are easier than we thought. So, but that's pretty much where we are. And we obviously bought the property there. That was supposed to be already finished.
Yeah, we were counting on that to be part of our income a lot sooner.
Yeah, vacation rental. And so we've also set up a tourism, we have a tourism business here. We're going to put stuff together like tours. We're working on a tour, a triangle tour that we're going to launch actually hopefully next week.
For October.
And these are the kind of things where, you know, from my background has been booking all types of travel from Canada, usually down south, tours, cruises. Now it's going to be specializing, and that's always been the plan. And tying that on to the glamping project as well, where that's still in the works, and there'll be more information coming down the road.
So the tour that Carlos mentioned is the Triangle Tour, São Jorge, Fayal, and Pico. We're going to connect these 3 islands, and it's going to be a guided tour with us and our partner. And we will be booking this tour in October. The dates are to be determined, so we'll let you guys know. If you are interested, you can contact us through our website and we'll put you on the list. There is a limited amount of people that will be on this tour. It's about 6 to 10 people right now.
Yeah, we're about to launch it, and it'll be probably the latter part of October. We're looking probably around October 22nd, but we're still trying to figure that part out. And you'll be with us, and you're going to get a really good taste that the Triangle Islands are all about. It'll be a slow travel, okay, and it's going to be about 8-9 days, okay. Small group.
Yeah, and we're very excited about this.
Very intimate. So obviously we're going to put it out there. I know October is not that far off, but let's just see if there's any interest. I think it will be a wonderful time, especially for people who have never been there and they would just want to start out getting a really good taste of what the Azores is about.
Now, another tour, it's actually not really a tour, it's a workshop that we mentioned in one of our other videos. It's called the Expat Workshop.
Azores Workshop, exactly. So it's like mixed like a tour, but plus like classes to learn more about purchasing property in the Azores, just about moving to the Azores, retiring the Azores. It'll have all those elements in it, right? So for example, we'll bring in professionals, real estate agents,
a notary, a lawyer, banker.
Because I think, again, we're getting a lot of emails, and we started seeing a trend where a lot of people are trying to learn. What better way to learn than on location? Because at the end of the day, if people are really thinking of retiring or moving to the Azores, you got to visit. So you can do both here. You'll be able to visit. Again, you're with us, seeing the 3 islands in the middle, but talking about all the islands. okay? And I think that's why we came up with the idea to do this Azores Expat workshop. And it's in the planning stages, but we'll keep you on the loop.
Yeah, and you can still contact us through
we'll
our
keep you
website. We've
register.
already started a list of people that are interested.
And if you have ideas for the workshop, feel free.
That is the end of our Q&A. We answered a lot of
my
questions,
God. Yeah,
but there's always other questions coming in. So we will have to do another Q&A at some point. Plus, I'm starving. My stomach's growling. You might pick it up on the mic, but
This mic will probably pick that up. But we just hope it was useful, and we enjoyed sharing this, answering these questions for you. And but if any of you are considering visiting, especially first-timers, and the timeline of October fits in, reach out to me. You might have some more questions, because this tour I think would be perfect to hang out with us and learn more about the Triangle Islands. There's still a lot more that we're learning, and
Yes.
we will learn about St. George and Fayal, and I think it'll be a great place, a great time to just hang out and
meet you.
meet you guys,
Yeah.
and together we can learn more. Okay, so I think we're gonna say goodbye, right?
Yeah, so
Kitty?
if you guys liked this video, you know what to do.
Thumbs up.
Like the video, subscribe, and again, leave any comments below.
Or email, and we'll see you on the next video. All right.
Ciao, guys.